I know behind the scenes is a part of my channel. And when I made that section, I kind of intended it to be more about what it's like to be a therapist, what work life is like, balancing home and work. There were people out there who thought about being a therapist or social worker or other kind of, mental health provider, that maybe if I shared my experience in that journey, that it could either inspire them or give them a little bit of knowledge, and so they could decide if it really is something that they'd want it to do, because that's something I wish I would have had. That was really the idea behind it, and not really to share personal life issues or whatever. 2020 has just been a year for the books. I'm sure a lot of people can say that. My husband said I could share and post whatever about our lives because we've been through a lot, but I didn't really want to. I thought it was like really personal, mostly because the stuff we were kind of going through in the beginning wasn't my stuff to share, really. In December of 2019, my husband's mother went to the hospital for a heart cath. Something went wrong in the procedure and she ended up almost dying. She was on life support for a long time. Something had happened and half of her heart died, so she needed a new heart. So we went through that whole process of hospital visits and such. And so that kind of being hard enough in and of itself, at the exact same time that my mother-in-law was in the hospital trying to fight for her life to get a new heart, my father-in-law had been diagnosed with leukemia and was going through cancer treatments, chemotherapy, radiation, a lot of stuff. When COVID hit in March, it was rough because we had several, so not just one, but two of his parents in hospitals where we weren't really allowed to visit very much. And we have family, he has siblings, and so they would go up and visit spouses, stuff like that. So we kind of had to take turns. God, it was hard. So we also live about 2 hours away from their hometown where his parents live. They are separated, so it was two different families, but they lived near each other, kind of like 20 miles away. So we lived about 2.5 hours from there, and then they ended up both being in the hospital in another major city that is actually, like 150 miles. So it's like a 2.5, 3-hour drive to get there to visit from where we live. We didn't get to visit often. Okay, so fast forward, I guess. So cancer is really hard. I never knew anybody before who had cancer until my father-in-law got it. The treatment just really wiped him out, and it was hard to watch. He did pass away in May of 2020, and that was really hard. He was a great man. My mother-in-law did get a heart, and she is doing well, so that's great. She's back up walking around. She's got a few more months to go before she can really have her immune system back and be able to go out and shop and go to work and stuff like that. She's got a little ways to go, but she's getting there, and so that's great. We're really happy. When you lose someone, holidays can be hard, because you have all these memories. It's very triggering, especially the first year. And as a mental health provider, I felt like very fortunate to have this kind of understanding, to have a good grasp on coping strategies, and to be a support for my husband who's going through all this, and for myself to really kind of understand like how to help myself, how to help my husband, how to encourage him, and things to do. So that's been really kind of a blessing of having been in a career field where I've gained so much knowledge and understanding about emotions and grief and how to process things. Definitely it was helpful. You help people through things all the time. I think almost every week I have someone who I do grief work with, whose parents have died, whose spouses have died, but it hits a little different when it's your own. That's probably why you don't treat your family, right, in any professions. Yeah, and then just knowing yourself, I found myself definitely using a lot of the coping skills that I teach people more intentionally. So fast forward to December of 2020, I started my YouTube channel this year and I was doing Vlogmas. So if you go, you'll see the playlist of tips and tricks and whatever for December of 2020. And I was doing daily uploads and it was going well. And then I stopped. I missed several days in it because my mom ended up going to the hospital. She's kind of getting up there in years and she moved in with us to kind of enjoy her golden years, as they say. And she's just been getting, kind of sicker and sicker, more tired. And we kind of thought it was, old age setting in. But then she started experiencing some pain. And so she went to the doctor and she had some masses and we weren't sure, but kind of thought they were cancerous. So they did a biopsy and we're testing them. And while we were waiting for the results, it just got so much worse. I ended up taking her to the emergency room. She was hospitalized for over a week. So this whole time, there's a lot going on. She did end up getting diagnosed with 2 different kinds of cancer, which I didn't even know that could happen, that you could have 2 cancers at once. She has 2 different forms of non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, pretty progressed and aggressive. So she started chemotherapy. She did get to come home before Christmas, so that was nice. We got to do Christmas together. So that's kind of why I missed all the uploads, has been doing that. We had to rearrange our house quite a bit and move some things around to, I guess, just fit the new lifestyle with chemotherapy and all of that. I have a ton of siblings, great support. Everyone just wants to help. In stressful times, people are stressed out, so there's been some family drama, to be expected with everything. It's been a little rough. So, I guess I don't really have anything to say about like, oh, what should you do, or any tips or tricks for anyone, because I'm just kind of going through it myself. But my husband's been encouraging me to just express myself, and it's what I tell people all the time is, narratives are a great way to get things out, whether it's a YouTube video or journaling or talking, whatever. I guess that's what this is. This is me getting it out, and we'll see. Okay, I don't know. That's it. I'm done. Bye. Sharing my own personal journey, I guess, or issues. Yeah, I don't know if I'm even gonna post this.